Welcome, kind students. Here's Mr. O'Donnell's first attempt at a video lesson. I'll try to keep it brief for you. I'm going to cover the genome in preparation of going over meiosis. The genome is a word to describe all of our genetic information, that is all of the DNA and all of the information contained in our cells, except for mitochondria. The mitochondria have their separate supply of DNA called the mitochondrial genome. Interestingly, eukaryotes have two copies of the genome in duplication in what's called homologous pairs, a copy of each chromosome from your mother and a copy from your father. This duplication allows access to the genes of each parent and allows for some special combinatorial activities in meiosis. Humans have 46 pairs of chromosomes. Here you can see them laid out before you in what's called a karyotype with an organized arrangement. You can see one from each parent, paired by size here, with the exception of the sex chromosomes illustrated down in the bottom of the slide. Here's the karyotype of chromosomes again, now this time in color. Here are how the karyotype is developed. The cell is pictured just during mitosis, and the chromosomes are matched and paired up in an organized fashion, originally with scissors and papers and now done digitally. You've heard me talk in class that a chromosome is kind of like the slinky in the box, a super condensed state, but we really can't enjoy this slinky that way. But for a little while, it makes it easy to keep track of. Whereas the slinky on the left there is in the natural play state where it's accessible, and maybe that's like the DNA in its chromatin form. Here is this pretty circle. Here is a nucleus with the DNA spread out or quote unquote relaxed. And you can see that the chromosomes each have a particular neighborhood. A slide I've showed before showing various levels of what I call packing or organization. We can see the histone. It looks like the little hamburger bun in the middle slide. Here it is, the alpha helixes of the histone protein, and lots of protein in chromatin to organize and keep track of all that DNA. The question on the left, what type of packing is more common during regular cell life? Well, we would favor the upper, more relaxed state in the upper pictures there, where the enzymes can access the DNA and express the particular genetic content, but probably some of the chromosomes down at the bottom. Also, some of the genome exists like that, because a skin cell would not have any interest in the eye cell's genetic content, and so it might remain really condensed and packed up. I hope my daily thank you to the people who were here first, our host tribe, the Puyallups on the bottom left, the Nisquallies to our south in the bottom right, the Muckleshoots in the upper left in Auburn and Federal Way, the Duwamish up in Seattle, all giving us a positive message to take care of yourselves. To which I say, Tigweed seed, thank you for your kindness. We're going to learn a strange word called Ploidy, describing the number of chromosomes. This duplicate state is called diploid or diploid and refers to the common, usual, normal, frequent somatic cell, like your skin, your bones, your muscles, your nerves, your endocrine glands. That's where your hormones come from. All the cells in your body, pretty much all of them are somatic cells. They have duplication, a total of 46 chromosomes in each of the cells, one from each parent. Why would that create a problem for sexual reproduction? What happens when two of these cells join together and fuse into a new individual? That's right, they'd have 92 chromosomes, and the children of the 92 chromosome individuals would have, that's right, 184, and soon we'd be nothing but big baggies of chromosomes as generations went past. Here is a cartoon or stick figure version thinking about these concepts here. On the left, we see chromosomes, and on the right, we see also, these are also individual chromosomes now getting ready. This would be a G2 phase of interphase. They've been replicated, the DNA has been replicated. These are sister chromatids, but still individual chromosomes. How many copies of each chromosomes? That's right, you could count, and you can see they're paired up. In both cases, the size of each of the chromosomes matches. You know they're homologous pairs. We represent that by this number 2 that appears in this strange nomenclature you're going to learn for the next 4 weeks. N2N. And how many chromosomes do you see in total in each case? That's right, 4. You got it. And what would we say is the state of ploidy in these individuals? There are 2 copies like bi or di. That's right, diploid is their state of ploidy. Just for comparison, how about these cells? These cells are N equals 2. There's only 1 copy. We do not see a twin of each of these chromosomes. There are only 2 of them. These are haploid. We lose this coefficient up front, and we have the number showing the total number of chromosomes the same way as before. In meiosis, we'll be focusing on cells called gametes, and the gametes are highly specialized cells. They often don't look like the usual round cell with a nucleus that appears in our pictures. There's only 1 copy of each chromosome. Here we see this N equals 23. How many total chromosomes would that be? That's right, 23. When we think of the gametes, we're talking about meiosis, a highly specialized cell. Here is my mnemonic, my memory device from 10th grade. I thought sperms were tremendously amusing in 10th grade. And they're really funny looking, right? They don't look like a regular cell at all. They're not doing a regular cell's activity because they are specialized. They are gametes. The sperm gamete is going to fuse with an egg gamete. The 2 haploid cells will come together, become diploid once again, and create a new specialized cell called a zygote. The first cell of every organism starts off as a zygote, that is, in terms of sexual reproduction, and that will give rise to an entire new organism. Some review questions. Gametes are specialized cells for what type of special, kind of enjoyable, I hope, reproduction? That's right, sexual reproduction. How many chromosomes do these specialized cells have? What number in humans? That's right, 23. And how do we describe this number of chromosomes using this ploidy word? Half the number of chromosomes, or haploid. What do we call a normal state of ploidy? The somatic cells, the common frequent skin, bone, muscle cells, diploid, with this strange way of writing it, 2 showing duplications, the homologous chromosomes, and a total of 46. And what specialized mechanism is used to produce gametes? That's right, meiosis. Here we are in a summary slide. The testes and the ovaries, specialized organs to give rise to these specialized cells. The process of meiosis produces the egg and the sperm gametes. Notice the number of chromosomes in each of these. The 2 cells fuse together to create 1 cell, going from the haploid state to now the diploid state. Now duplication of the chromosomes, one from the father, the homologous pairs. Now diploid cells able to grow into a whole organism. Thank you for watching, and please enjoy the next video.